everyone, I'm Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. So go ahead and get started in a comfortable position. When we start moving, we'll be seated, so you can start there or you can be laying, whatever feels good for you. Adding any props to support your practice here, sitting up on a pillow or putting blocks underneath the knees. And just pause for a moment, coming into whatever space it is that you're using. Grounding down into the sit bones. Stack the spine up one bone at a time. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears, down the back, reaching up through the crown of the head. You can allow the eyes to close or just take the gaze softly off the tip of the nose. And start to deepen the breath. So that next inhale, filling the belly, rib cage up to the collarbones. And exhale, collarbones, rib cage, and the belly. Inhale from the bottom, filling all the way up to the top. Exhale from the top, all the way down to the bottom. Continue with this rhythm, making each breath a little longer, a little fuller than the one before. Just notice what happens in the body when you start changing the breath. Noticing whatever comes up, physically, emotionally, or mentally. Notice it, acknowledge it. And bring the focus back to the breath. And at the top of the next inhale, take a nice deep breath in and hold it for a moment, really allowing the collarbones to spread. And then open the mouth and release it, let it all go. Lovely, coming back to a natural rhythm of breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. You meant to return to the breath at any point during our practice today. Just find your level of effort and ease. So for the next exhale, drop the chin to the chest. If you're not already seated, come into a seated position. And inhale to roll the right ear over to the right shoulder, pausing. Getting some length in the side of the neck, let the shoulders be nice and heavy. And exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear to the left shoulder. Pausing here. And exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear towards the right shoulder, then continue circling the head and neck all the way around, drawing some nice big circles with the nose. Whatever speed feels good. You can pause and work across those sticky spots a little bit. And switching directions. And the other way. And bring it to center, start to roll the shoulders. Really draw the shoulders up towards the ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades behind you together. And then really pull them down towards the floor like you're going to drop them in your back pockets. Lovely. Roll them forward, then pull them up. Really squeeze them together, then pull it down. Once more like that, nice and slow. Good. A couple times, just nice and fluid. Roll that out. Bring the hands to the leg. Just start to circle the torso. I find this a really challenging move if I'm sitting on a block. I find I need a bigger surface to roll around on. Going both directions. You can keep the spine long or really play with drawing some cat-cow shapes. So really pulling the chest forward and drawing the belly back. Again, going both directions. And bringing it to center. Keeping the shoulders heavy, nice and slow. Bring the hands up above the head as you roll the wrists out. Taking your time to get them up there. Good. Take a breath in to sit up nice and tall. Reach to the fingertips and exhale, right hand down. Reach up and over to the right. Big side stretch. Lovely. So you can always take a block or something under that bottom hand to bring it up. You can bend the elbow to come deeper. Looking for some space between the hips and the rib cage, taking it up and then over. Good. Inhale it back up to center. And exhale to the other side. Left hand down, right hand reaches, big side stretch. Right, with connecting into both sit bones, especially that right one nice and heavy. Another breath here. Inhale it all the way up to center and exhale, twist to the right. Right hand kicks down behind you, left hand comes across. Take a breath in to sit up tall and exhale, rotating around the nice long spine. So just starting gently. Moving the belly first, then the chest. Rolling the right shoulder back, maybe taking the gaze behind you. Another breath here. Use an inhale to come to center, and exhale, twist to the left, other side. So left hand comes behind you, right hand comes across. Take a breath in to really lengthen up tall, and exhale, deepening the twist. And then bring it to center. Take both hands to the floor behind you. You can point the fingers towards the hips or out to the side as you like. And as you inhale, lift the chest, draw the elbows and the shoulder blades together. And find maybe a stretch into the wrists. You can lift the gaze slightly, just keeping a soft tuck to the chin. And then inhale it up to center and exhale, fold forward any amount. You can uncross the legs if that's more comfortable, maybe a little side to side movement. You're welcome to keep the spine long or allow it to round, releasing the forehead down. Maybe a little wave movement with the breath, using the inhale to really lengthen and then folding deeper on the exhale. So just taking some time with exploration and what's feeling good in your body today. Bring it up, and from here we'll move towards child's pose, or all fours if child's pose isn't a happy place for you. So child's pose, come to kneeling, take the hips back towards the heels, walk the arms out in front of you. Maybe find a little side to side movement. Just make sure the knees are nice and wide for some space for the belly. If this is not a happy place for you, you can have the hips up above the knees, beyond the forearms, maybe doing some circles with the hips and the shoulders. Again, taking some moment and giving yourself permission for exploration and finding what works for you. So we're all going to come up onto all fours. Just take a moment to adjust here. So shifting a little side to side, forward and back, maybe walking the hands out a little bit. Great place to add blocks under the hands, a footstool, even a chair, adjusting the load on the wrists and the upper body. Lovely. Now with that next inhale, lift the tail, lift the chest and the gaze for cow. And exhale, tuck the tail, round the spine, drop the head for cat. Inhale, driving forward into cow. The elbows can soften and bend. Then exhale, really press the floor away, curling up into cat. Keep going, following the rhythm of your own breath. You can take it nice and slow, playing with moving one bone at a time all the way up the spine. Or maybe you add some circular movement to it, some circles in the hips, the rib cage, or the head. Whatever direction is calling to you. Lovely. And then bring it back to a neutral-ish spine. Lovely. So find a slight activation in the core. So gently pressing up away from the floor, low ribs are hugging in. Shifting into the left shin. And then kick the right leg up and back behind you. Keep the knee bent. So it's like, and then the foot flex, like you were to step up onto the ceiling. Lovely. So we're going to play with keeping the hips as stable as possible, kind of just moving the leg and the femur around that hip socket. So taking that knee out to the side like you're a dog at a fire hydrant, then hugging it around to the chest, and kick it up behind you. Good. So a couple more circles like this. Just notice any spots of resistance, any snap, crackles, and pops. Next time the foot is up and back in first direction. So drawing the knee towards your chest, but keeping the spine nice and long. Out to the side and then up and back behind you. A couple of circles, just articulating that joint there. Lovely. And then stretch it out behind you, take the toes to the mat and stretch back into the heel. So find the stretch into the calf. And then bring the knee back to all fours. Take a round of cat-cow, shake that out. And other side, so shifting into the right shin as you float the left leg up and back, knee bent, foot flexed. And just pause there, kind of finding that stability and activation in the hips. And then we'll take the knee out to the side like a dog at a fire hydrant and pull it around underneath you towards the chest. Good, take it up and back. Just drawing some nice big circles with the knee and moving nice and slow with control and trying to keep the hips as stationary as possible. It can be a very small movement. Might be bigger depending on your available range of motion. And next time the foot's up and back, switch directions, drawing the knee towards the chest, but keep the spine long. Out to the side and then up and back. As you're really just stirring the femur around in the hip socket, using a little bit of activation to make that happen. And then extend that leg out long behind you, toes to the mat. You can roll forward and back to stretch out the sole of the foot. Roll the hips around. Then back to all fours. And go ahead and shift back, take some weight off the wrists. You can tuck your toes. You can sit back on the feet or be up on the knees. Your choice. Just shake out the wrists a little bit. Roll them one direction and the other. Give them a good shake. And bring the hands back to the mat, tuck the toes. We're just going to move straight into a forward fold. So bring the feet to the mat, butt in the air, let the torso hang. Find your ragdoll, arms can grab opposite elbows. Generous bend to the knees. Shifting a little side to side, forward and back. Hands can grab opposite elbows for a little traction there. Saying hello to the back of the body, hamstrings, low back. As you exhale, release the hands towards the floor. Inhale, shins come up hands come up the shins, flat back, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold, let everything be heavy. Twice more, inhale, flat back, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. This time as you inhale, tuck the tail, roll yourself up bone by bone, bring the head up west. Taking your time. When you get there, rolling the shoulders up and back a couple times. Bring the blood back to the brain. And find that mountain pose. So feet are a comfortable distance apart. Maybe that's hip width, maybe wider. Spreading the toes, let them stand nice and wide. Drawing the kneecaps up, scoop the belly in. Roll the shoulders back, reach up through the crown of the head. Good, next inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. And exhale, right hand down, reaching up and over to the right, big side stretch. Heavy into the left foot. Inhale, center. And exhale, reach up and over to the left. Inhale, center. And exhale, release the hands behind you. You can interlace the fingers or just stack them at the low back. Keeping the knees soft as you inhale, lift the chest, draw the shoulder blades together. If the fingers are interlaced, you can draw the knuckles back and away. Find the stretch into the shoulders. Keeping the low ribs hugging in. They really like to flare out, so slight activation in the core there. Good, release the arms, inhale them up overhead, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. As you exhale, bend the knees, maybe plant the hands, step the right leg back for a high lunge. Good, find your feet on train tracks first, and then bring the torso up. Hands can be the front thigh or the hips. And we'll just take a moment here. So we're going to bend and straighten the front leg a couple times. If you like, you can even play with shifting that knee out towards the toes and then bring them back behind. As long as that's available. Lovely. And then we're going to bend the knee with it stacked over the ankle and play with bending and straightening the back knee. And as you do that, as you straighten, really pressing through the back heel, and play with keeping the hips low. And then reaching through the back heel, hips are square in the front of the mat, and inhale both arms up. Good, this time as you exhale, bend the back knee any amount and bend the elbows, pulling them down and back. Good, inhale, straighten the leg, reach the arms up. Twice more, exhale, bend and pull back. Inhale, reach. Exhale to bend and lower. And inhale to reach up. Good. And from here, we're going to spin open into warrior two. So, squaring hips and shoulders off to the long edge of the mat. Front toes towards the short edge of the mat. Back toes in slightly. And again, bend and straighten the front knee a couple times. And if you like, you can play with really pressing it forward and then straightening it all the way. Again, it depends on available range of motion, the stability of that joint. Stay in a safe place for you. Stacking knee over ankle or even stacking it back. Shoulders come over hips. And inhale the arms out. Next, inhale, straighten the front leg, reach both arms up overhead. And exhale, bend the knee, extend the arms, warrior two. Twice more, inhale, extend and reach. Exhale, bend and extend. Inhale it up. And exhale to reach it out. Lovely. Next, inhale, flip the front palm, reach up and back, reverse your warrior. Pause here, connecting into the front heel and feeling some heat in the front leg. Big side stretch here. If you like, you can play with straightening the front leg, give it a break, and also find some more length. Good. Bring the torso up to center, spin all the toes towards the long edge of the mat, and sink into the right knee for side lunge. Good. So weight's heading towards the back of your mat. And I guess I have my toes out slightly, not pointed straight back, because that's where my thighs kind of want to go as I'm opening this up. You can be up high. You can take the hands down to blocks or the mat. You can sink way down, maybe lifting left toes off the mat. And just find a good stretchy place here. Lovely, and then all the toes are going to spin towards the back of your mat. Left hand comes down to the mat or a block. Inhale the right arm up to the sky, twisting towards that bent right knee. Lovely, so now you're in a twisted lunge towards the back of your mat. You can always release the back knee to the mat. Hand can be on the fingertips or a fist. Keeping this right hip tucked underneath you, rotating from the waist up. Good, and then as you exhale, release both hands to the mat and step that back foot forward, finding a forward fold. Lovely, letting everything be heavy. Then inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale yourself all the way up, hands to the sky. And exhale, hands to your heart. By your sides, take a breath. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step the left leg back, high lunge. Good, so we're kind of already here, but take a moment, set up your feet, and then bring the torso all the way up, hands to the hips or front leg. And again, playing with the front knee. So just start bending and straightening that leg. You can have the knee stop right over the ankle, get that muscle memory going, or maybe even play with pressing the knee way forward and then bringing it back. And moving in a safe range of motion for your body. Two sides can be very different. Stacking knee over ankle and playing with the back knee, bending it towards the floor any amount and then reaching through the heel. Good. You could always welcome the hand to a wall, a chair for balance and stability. Lovely. And reaching through the heel and inhale both hands up. This time as you exhale, bend that back knee any amount. Bend the elbows, put them down and back, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale, straighten the back leg, reach the arms up. Twice more, exhale to bend and pull back. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, pull it back and down. And inhale to reach. Good. Using the breath, opening up into warrior two. So, squaring off to the long edge of the mat, fiddle around with your feet, and again playing with the front knee. Bend and straighten a couple times. You can stop right over the ankle, get that muscle memory going, or press it way forward and then bring it straight. Good, and then stack knee over ankle, shoulders over hips, reach the arms out long. This time roll the shoulders up towards the ears, down the back, find some space there. Next, inhale, straighten the front leg, reach both arms up. Exhale, bend the knee, extend the arms. Twice more, inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift. And exhale, sink and pause. Good. From here, reverse your warrior. Flipping the front palm, reaching up and back. Back hand can drop to the leg, maybe wrap around the low back. If you want more effort, you can play with sinking deeper into the front leg. Or for some more ease and space, straighten the front leg, find some real length in the side body. Good, everybody comes up to center. Spin the toes towards the long edge of the mat. Sink into the left knee for side lunge. It can be very different than the other side. You can stay up here, you can play with shifting side to side if that feels good. Maybe fingertips to the mat. You can drop the hips. Whatever shape feels good for you. You can find some more effort and bring the hands off the mat or leg entirely. And then from here, spinning all the toes towards the short edge of the mat, towards the front. Right hand comes down. Left hand spins up to the side. Twisted lunge. Good. Towards the original front of your mat. You can do some big circles with that top arm. Another breath here. And then use an exhale, top hand comes down. Shift forward, step forward, find that forward fold. Good, letting everything hang. Then inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll or sweep all the way up tall. And exhale, hands to your heart. By your side, and take a pause. Good, take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just notice if there are any differences moving one direction or the other. Lovely. And turn to face the long edge of your mat. Step the feet out nice and wide, toes out, heels in. And play with bending and straightening the legs some more. Finding that goddess pose. So letting the hips sink down, knees tracking over the toes, whichever direction they want to go. Lovely. Slight tuck to the tail, shoulders stacked over hips. Then bring the hands to the thighs. You either have thumbs in or spin the fingers in. Good. So you can add a little bit of traction on the hips. Then go ahead and drop the right shoulder down. Take a look over the left. Find a little twist. As you're gently pressing that right leg away, finding a little stretch there. Bring it up to center, then exhale to the other side. For this stretch, I like to have my thumbs facing in, but you pick which feels best in your body. Bring it up to center, straighten the legs, spin the toes in. Take a breath in to lift the chest, and exhale, forward fold. Good, nice wide legs. Hands can release down to the floor, to the legs. You can shift side to side. Maybe the hands come behind the legs, help draw yourself in deeper. You can interlace the fingers behind the back of the neck to add a little gentle traction. You just pause here and find what you need in the pose. Maybe it's a stretch into the hamstrings, releasing the tension along the spine, and the head be heavy. And a breath here. Then exhale, hands to the hips or legs. You inhale, squeeze the legs, draw yourself up, press the hips forward, heel toe the feet in. Lovely, and then come back to the front of your mat. Find your mountain pose. Take a moment. And from here, we're going to move all the way down to the floor, however you want to get there. If you want to take a little flow or just move yourself down. It's all good. So find butt on the floor, bent knees, plant the feet. Good. From here, lowering to the back. So you can find some effort if you like, or just lower it down. We're going to play with bridge pose a little bit. So letting the spine relax into the floor for a moment. And we're going to start by walking the legs all the way together. Good. So you can bring the heels nice and close to the hips. The further away the heels are from the hips, the more work it's going to be for your hamstrings, which could be a great thing if you want to work on hamstring strength. So, with the legs all the way together, tuck the shoulders underneath you, arms down by the sides, so palms press into the mat. Use an inhale to press into the feet, lifting the hips, low back, middle back to the upper back. And exhale to release it down. Good. Another breath, lifting it up. You can hold it for a couple breaths here and just feel how this is. You can really squeeze the legs together, really press into the heels, and really lift the hips up. So just a couple breaths, seeing how that feels. And then an exhale, press the spine into the mat and release it down. Good. And step the feet out a little bit, about hip width or so. Again, walking those heels in so the ankles are underneath the knees. Again, inhale to lift yourself up. And you can move with the breath or just hold, depending on what you're feeling. But take a couple breaths, lift it up, and see how this feels different. Maybe you are still finding that squeezing in action of the legs, reaching through the knees, lifting the hips up. And releasing on an exhale. Good. Finding a pause, knees can fall in towards each other. You can windshield wiper them a little side to side. And then last option, we're going to step the feet mat width. Good. So my toes are going to be out slightly because my knees are going to go out slightly when I lift. Again, play with the positioning. And next inhale, pressing the feet to lift yourself up. Moving with the breath or pausing. And just see if this feels different on the low back, the lower body. Releasing on an exhale. Good. And then either let the knees fall in towards each other or soles of the feet together and the knees fall out. And just think about those three options. You know, what felt good on your body? Did you feel more stable? Was one more challenging than the other? You're always welcome to make those adjustments to your practice. From here, bring the knees together. Take the arms out to a T. Shift the hips to the left. Drop the knees to the right for a twist. Any version of a twist you like. You can wrap the legs together, straighten them. Maybe hug the knees up towards the chest a little further. Gravity and the breath do the work here, kind of slowing things down. Inhale it to center. And exhale, hips to the right, knees drop to the left. Finding your twist to the other side. Again, whatever that looks like for you, could be the same shape or different. Inhale it up to center and exhale, knees in the chest. Give yourself a big hug. Hands can come to the back of the thighs or the front of the shins. Any last movements or adjustments you like before finding a moment of stillness in Shavasana. Look like knees bent, feet on the mat. You can take soles of the feet together, let the knees fall open, or extend the legs out. Good. Letting limbs fall away from the body, let the eyes softly close. And bring the focus back to the breath. Taking a few more moments here, breathing in. Breathing out. It's your practice. You can stay here as long as you like. Otherwise, slowly start to deepen the breath. And some movement in the fingers and toes, hands and feet. Extend the arms overhead, take a full body stretch. And bend the knees, roll to your favorite side. Pausing for a moment here. As you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Rounding down to the sitting bones, stacking the spine up. Reaching up through the crown of the head. So palms can be down for grounding or up for sharing and receiving. Together we'll take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. I invite you to bring your hands together in front of the heart. May our thoughts, words, and actions support the health, happiness, and freedom of all beings. Thank you for your presence and your practice. Enjoy the rest of your day.